about 3 years ago and met her at one of the events I was hosting. And from there on, I was like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that. So I love connecting with people who have a passion. And she's one of those people, and she's taken everything that I like kind of fed into her, I helped her with, and just taken it way past what I thought it would be. So these guys have been really, really consistent with hosting these events for the Women Network, and I'm really proud of that. So I'm like, yay, go Jessica. All right. So yes, as she said, I am on Cherie Holmes Jones, born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Attended college there at Xavier, and I worked in marketing for about 15 plus years, corporate marketing and PR for various brands around the nation, Ford, Domino's, Bosch. But about maybe 12 years in, I knew, okay, remember your passion, remember that purpose that you've always had? I started getting that itch. And so even though I had a great career, my husband and I have lived in many cities with my career, it was like, okay, time to go, time to get. And that passion and purpose was always going to be an entrepreneur. At 14, I got my first job, begged my dad to work at a state park, and I was like, I need a job, take me, I want a job. And he's like, where do you get that from? Like, how do you just walk up and want a job? And it was because I wanted my own money, I wanted to make it my own way, and I didn't want to have to ask him for money. And then I picked out the location that I wanted to work. I didn't just go fill out applications like the 14-year-old would do. I was like, no, I want to work at that place, at that job. It was a state park. And I remember the guy calling after I filled out an application and saying, oh, well, we decided not to hire you. And I was like, what did he call me? At 14, I didn't understand. Why did you call me and tell me I didn't get the job? So I was boo-hooing and crying. My dad would sit on the couch looking at me like, just calm down. You're fine. You get the money I give you, right? And I remember saying, oh, I hate this. I wanted a job. Making a big deal. I'm a dramatic person. I'll just go ahead and say that. And I walked halfway down the hallway, and the phone rang again. So I run back to the phone, and I just knew that was something for me. And it was a guy. He said, oh, actually, somebody is not working this summer. You can have the job. I was like, oh, great. And it was just working at a concession stand, but I worked there every summer for 4 years. To the point where I worked on bass fishing competitions and all this fun stuff. But for me, I was making my own money, all right? And I picked the location that I wanted to do. That was very strategic because a lot of times we just look for jobs, and a lot of times we just look for something to be something. And it's really not on purpose. And so for me at 14 to know that that was kind of what I wanted to do and to do it, I'm kind of grateful that, my God puts that type of vision into me, and I was able to follow that. And so my first check, and as I get into this, my first check, I wrote on the back, all 7 businesses I wanted to own. So again, he was pouring in, he was giving it to me. He was giving it to me that summer. And I actually lost 30 pounds that summer too. If I could do that again, that would be great. That part is not happening. So I wrote it on the back, and I still have that check. I own 4 of those businesses now. So purpose is really a big thing. A lot of times I hear people getting on what I call the brand wagon. The brand wagon. I have been a brand strategist. I have been a marketing manager for various different accounts. So when I hear people, everybody talking about the brand this and brand that, I'm like, I feel y'all, I see you. Yes, you can articulate to somebody how to do something in that industry. But a brand is not something to play with, as I say. If you're going to build a brand, you need to be prepared to take over. Okay? And if you're going to do anything that has anything to do with branding you with it, either working for 31 or working for Plexus, you need to make sure that you believe in their brand. And it has something to do with your purpose. So tonight I'm hoping that I can tell you how to bring your purpose a little bit. And most folks already know what their purpose is, or they're creating it, they figured it out, or they may not know what it is. Now, I'm not no life coach. I'm not a psychic, a prophetess, or anything like that. But what I do know is because I've kind of listened to what I have, I figured if you listen to what you have, that thing that's constantly knocking at the door, that you think about when you're daydreaming, when you're walking, when you're supposed to come and you're here in the bathroom, all those things, the thing that comes up often, that's that purpose. I read something, I don't know if you guys follow Honey. It's Humans in New York. It's a post on Facebook. I'm slightly addicted. Wasn't that one good? Okay. Yeah, so a man, he was a maitre d', real short, he was a maitre d' for like 13 years. He got sick, went to the hospital, and that's what Honey does. Honey is Humans in New York. It's just straight stories. And he basically was like, I want to go back to that job. And in his bed, he was like, what do I want to do? That's the question. What do you want to do? A lot of times we out here getting opportunities that we're interested in and passionate about, and we're going to always have multiple passions. But it's like, what do you want to do? That's the headstone when you go to the grave, right? And so he basically figured out he loved dogs so much that he would just walk dogs every day. Well, it's like, okay, you have to live off of that. So his story is really, really cute. He's been walking dogs for 14 years. He did some amazing thing. He said he smoked weed or something and came up with his costume. It's never going to be like a set story. So I don't want to, it's very exotic, these stories on Honey, but it's a great thing to follow, and it's raw and it's real. So anyway, so that being the case, he followed his purpose. And for most people, when you're trying to be a part of any type of brand or co-branding yourself with any type of business, when you're picking your job, it's really important to make sure that you believe in it or it's connected to your purpose. Because guess what? You're going to be trying to give up the job in 5 years. Or you're going to stay for 10 years and just be depressed, sad, and talk about how you need to get something else and figure out what you want to do. So work on finding the purpose first. I'm hoping to tell you tonight about those 3 things that you should do to get to brand what you're doing and what you want to do when it's all said and done. We are all selling something, and that's a good thing, but is it a part of your purpose? Do you care? If you're selling something that deals with health, are you healthy? You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. If you're selling something that deals with dogs, do you love dogs? I hope you do. That's very important. I love dogs. So that's the big thing when you're knowing your purpose and knowing what you want to do and how do you figure that out. And then a lot of times people say, well, what is branding? I mean, is it just marketing? Is it just, PR? Is it just telling people about yourself? I had a person that I did some brand consultation with, and she said, I just want to know, how do I ask people to take a picture of them? I said, do exactly what you just said. Can I take a picture of you? You know what I'm saying? It's not all of this pretentious, you need to have a logo. You do need to have a logo on a website, let me just be clear. But your brand is not just your logo. It is all of the things that you are, because branding is what you are, what people say about you when you're not around. And anything that you do.
I need you to repeat that, please.
Okay, let me repeat that for the Periscope. Branding is what people say about you when you're not around, and that's when you're dating on too. The legacy thing. So that's why branding is important. People it's not a bad thing that everybody's on a brand wagon. It's a good thing. Because the reality of it is history has been around branding for forever. Not that we were branding horses or anything like that. I'm talking about branding America. When they were building states, that was the whole purpose of it. We want to be separate because we want to show our niche and what we're good at. Tennessee, the volunteer state. We're going to be the ones that volunteer every time a fight comes. That type of thing. Just everybody has to show their difference so they can survive on that difference. You get what I'm saying? You have to show, if there are hospitals around the world, a doctor's office that do the same thing that you do, why are you different? Why are you better? And so that you can survive on it. Because this is what you want to do, but you have to survive on it. So if you're not surviving on it, that means you're not telling it right. And like McDonald's tells you all the time, you got to love it. We say, we got to love it. We got to get McDonald's. You're going to go get McDonald's in some form of way. I can either get a cone. I'm not telling them again. Don't worry. Don't eat McDonald's. Don't eat McDonald's. Don't wait. Take that off there. Work with me.
I have to tell you that
McDonald's, I think you're great.
some lady by the name of Honey.
She's like, oh, I'm being
You got women on Periscope saying yes and thank you and say it again.
It is, you really need to know that, branding your purpose is around knowing what it is. It's around knowing what you want people to say. So it's like, how do you do that? Articulate it. McDonald's tells people, you got to love it. What are you going to say? What do you want to say? I tell people I do marketing and branding and PR. I tell people I have experience in that. I'm not just popping up and doing it out of the blue, and nothing's wrong with doing that. But my credibility comes from my brand by me telling you my background. I tell you how I do it every day, for other people, so that now when somebody says, oh, Marsha, I know that girl, they're not going to say, oh, that girl, I met her at an event. They're going to say, oh, that's Marsha, she does marketing, PR, and branding. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what you want, that message. I used to have a brand mission. I used to have a mission for a long time. I am Nelson Mandela's publicist. That's what I used to say. I'm Nelson Mandela's publicist. I'm like, what? Because I'm going to be like something, I'm going to articulate something big to the world. Like somebody who's powerful, somebody who's socially conscious to things. I wanted to be that. And I was like, I don't want to say that because I don't know if I want to do that for a long haul. Let me switch that up. So you got to find out what that message is, even for your products. If you're selling something, there's other 20 Avon girls in your circle, well, why is your Avon the same, different? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to stand out? And you can do it on that level. You should be able to stand out at all times. But I will say this. If you do not want to stand out and if you're shy, please do not build a brand. Don't tell people that you're a brand. Don't tell people that you sell Avon. Just sell it to the people that you're selling, your neighbors, your friends, and then you're good. But if you want to survive on it and it's attached to your purpose, you need to brand it. Okay? Another thing I tell people all the time, after you know your purpose, you got to know who you're talking to. Okay? A lot of times we have good for 20 people in the room here. So I'm going to pick on Connect back there. So Connect Magazine is in the back of the room. Anybody can be his customer. Or maybe not. Right? Certain people are your customer. I know who my customer is. For instance, Mojo Marketing is my brick and mortar business. I call that brick and mortar money too. Meaning that's what I survive off of. That's what I feed Charlie and Chico, my dogs. But speaking of branding, I'll do this any day, anytime, anywhere. Let me tell you about your business, and I don't care if I make money on it. Or if I do make money on it, I'll be happy too. But that's the thing that, I want people to know. I know certain people get. I'm not going to sell the lady who sells 31 Mojo Marketing and PR. You know why? Because Mojo Marketing and PR, I'm going to tell her about branding classes because I know that's my audience for that. So you got to know who your audience is. I had a little game, but I don't think we're set up for it, but I'm going to give it to you before you leave. When I do my branding sessions with people, I play this thing called like a branding dinner. It's in my purse. That's why I'm looking at it. I wanted to will out of here. Grab that manila folder for me. We're going to be improv people. Get with it.
Before you do that while we're waiting on your purse, it works. You have a fellow rep on here or something because It Works reps have not just been shouting her out, but they've been shouting you out the whole time I've been doing this. And all I keep hearing is, so I'm giving y'all a close-up of her because I keep hearing, I see my shirt, and girl, I'm getting It Works websites, and girl, you and Brandon, people are posting their websites.
What's your channel?
Aesthetics by P. Brown, but they are doing it, so. Thank you for acknowledging my brand.
Okay, so this is like, we got to be cutesy girls here. It looks like a coloring sheet, right? And it has 7 chairs here. And you said, Marsha, it's a dinner table. So, you only invite certain people to dinner. Everybody don't get to come to your house. Am I correct? So everybody don't get to come to your brand. Am I correct? That's why you got to think about it, because your brand is your purpose. So if your brand is your purpose, and you're marketing and you're branding your purpose, you got to know that you don't invite everybody in. I'm okay that there's 20 other PR girls and marketing girls in the city. Very much. I live very well. Thank you very much. Thank you, God. But I also know I don't invite just anybody to the table, to Mojo Marketing, or to my branding sessions that I do. So what I'm going to tell you here is who you're inviting to the table. This little game that I play, I ask people to pick 3 people. Now, 1 seat's for you. Please stay at the table. Take all the chairs away, people. 1 seat's for you. 3 seats are for people who you know have to be at the table no matter what. They're already at the table. These are people that have to be in your life, your purpose, your brand. Every day, no matter what. The other 3 are for people you want there. They can be a dog. It can be somebody famous that you don't know. It can be somebody who's an average Joe that you don't know. It can be a persona of a type of person, but you don't have a name for it. But they need to be invited to your table. And because the reason why you want to do that is these are your brand targets. These are the people you should be going after. Because if these are the type of people you would bring to dinner, these are the type of people you want to be around. And these are the type of people you want to be around. These are the type of people you want to talk to. And if these are the type of people you want to talk to, these are the type of people you need to market to and promote your purpose to. Okay?
I need a kitty table.
You need a kitty table? Okay. So you would put the names in the little back of the chair. Right? And then you want to say, okay, so one of my clients told me one time when she did this game, she said, Beyonce has to come. I said, oh, does she? Okay. So Beyonce said, well, why does Beyonce come? She said, well, she's a diva. I love the way she dresses. I love everything about her. I love her style. I said, so do you feel like your customer base is that woman? And she was like, yeah. I said, because I asked that question specifically because is that because you want to be like Beyonce, or is that because you want to hang out with people that look like Beyonce? Because that's what's important. Because if you invite them to dinner, you know, that's what you want. And she was like, yeah, I want to hang out with Beyonce and people like her. So we took the characteristics of what Beyonce was. You know, she's a diva, she's successful, she's beautiful, she loves fashion, she has on fashion line. And those are the things that were relevant to her brand as far as her brand targets went and her brand purpose went. So I'm going to pull out somebody in the audience.